What's going on, guys? Back at you guys with another presentation. I want to tell you guys, see, when I make these presentations and when I get on camera, I'm speaking from experience. That's probably what I'm gonna title this presentation right here. Happy Friday. I'm speaking from experience. See, one thing about me, I knew from a young age that I was never gonna have no family, and I knew from the time I was a teenager, I never had nobody. I always knew I was never gonna have nobody because it's something about those adolescent years that lets you know how the rest of your life gonna play out. See, if you didn't have females throwing themselves at you early in life, if they wasn't throwing themselves at you early in life, you ain't getting no family. It's over for you. See, I always knew I was destined to lose. Ever since I was an adolescent, I always knew nothing would ever work out for me, and I never have what other men have. See, I was born to lose. I always knew I was going to lose. And a lot of people don't want to admit this. Some people was meant to lose. Everybody wasn't meant to be a winner. So you got some people that'll tell you, everybody got the ability to win. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. And see, a lot of guys knew from the time they were teenagers that they would never have nobody. They'll never have a wife. They'll never have no kids. They'll never have nobody. See, I knew I was destined to lose from day one. I predicted how my life was going to play out when I was a teenager. My dad told me at 14, women ain't going to like you. They think you're ugly and women ain't going to dig you. See, I had a daddy to let me know early in life that women weren't going to be feeling me. I was born to lose, See, women say they like men who got confidence, but that's a lie. See, men who are confident is because women like them. Women like them. See, if you a dude that ain't desired, you don't have no reason to be confident because women don't like you no way. See, I always knew nothing was going to work out for me. Even back when I was a teenager, way before I started making content. I'm speaking from life experience here. Way before I did that interview with some of those people that was attacking me back when I was in my 20s. I knew as a teenager I was destined to lose. So what can you tell a man who knew he was destined to lose from day one? And you know what? I've talked to some other guys who knew as a teenager they would never have nobody. They knew they would never have a wife, kids, none of that good stuff. I always knew I was destined to lose from day one. I always knew I was destined to fail. I always knew I would never have no family. I always knew I was destined to crash and burn. I knew this back in middle school, high school. See, a lot of guys, they knew that it was over for them from day one. That's why when I make this content, people like to attack certain guys or whatnot. But I knew from the time I was young that I was never going to have nobody. And see, what make my situation so unique, my father told me women wouldn't like me. He told me women wouldn't like me. See, everybody don't have the ability to be great. Everybody just ain't got it. Some people were just destined to fail. Some people was just destined to fail. And if you're watching this presentation on this Friday, I'm pretty sure you can resonate with what I'm saying. Furthermore, we not all cut out for this game of life. We ain't all cut out to win. See, I always knew that getting pussy start young. It start when you in middle school and high school. A lot of us knew that nothing would never work out for us. See, I knew how things was going to end up for me way before I started producing content. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys did too. And see, that's why and see, that lets you know how crucial those adolescent years are. Those adolescent years are crucial because see, them adolescent years, that's the preview for how your adult life is going to be. So a lot of guys, when they make these presentations and when they get on camera, they not just pulling stuff out of their behind saying women don't find them attractive. A lot of these guys been losing. They've been losing way before they got on YouTube. They've been losing since they were teenagers. Like me, I've been losing since I was an adolescent. So what advice can people like Mr. Lucario give dudes who've been losing all their life? I'm solidified, you know? And see, I like aligning myself with dudes who are not wanted. See, I feel dudes who are not wanted, we should all start our own alliance. We should all start our own alliance. Dudes who not wanted. We should all start our own little movement. Because, you know, because a lot of people don't understand that a lot of these dudes who are not desired, they never been wanted to begin with. They've been losing. You know, they've been losing. See, a dude like myself, I've been losing from the beginning. Been losing since the beginning of time. Been losing. So if you've been losing, what advice can somebody give you if you've been losing? It ain't no advice they can give you if you've been losing. Been losing. You know? And you know what? I hate to be the bearer of bad news. If you've been losing, you're going to continue to lose. You're going to continue to lose. See, that's why I say a lot of these guys, when they get on camera, including myself, we speaking from life experience. A lot of us knew that we would never have wives, never have kids. A lot of us knew that we would never be like other men. We would never have a happy life. I knew it from a young age. That's why I say those adolescent years are so crucial. Because see, those teen years going to let you know how your adult life play out. See, some people was just meant to lose. Some people was just meant to lose, man. Everybody wasn't meant to win. Some people was meant to fail, you know? And see, women, when it come to dudes, they just going for dudes that they like. The reason why some guys have confidence in themselves is because women like them. Of course you're going to be confident if somebody like you. But if nobody likes you, what do you have to be confident about? Nothing. And they tell dudes, get on a dating site. No. If you was Chris Brown, you think you'll have to get on a dating site? One thing I had to learn about women are promiscuous people. And women throw themselves at guys they like. So if no woman is throwing herself at you, they don't find you attractive. You might as well just give it up and just accept that it's over for you. It's over. That's why I say when a lot of us, when we get on this camera and we talk about this stuff, we speaking from life experience. This is coming from life experience, you know, and this is experience way before we even got online talking about these issues. You know, a lot of people will never swallow their pride and admit this, that some people just was meant to lose. That's something that the dating coaches and some guys will never admit. Some dudes just weren't cut out for the game. Every dude wasn't built to get pussy. They weren't built to get pussy. They just weren't built for it. You know, pussy is only for certain men. Every man wasn't built to have a wife, kids, a legacy. Every man wasn't built for that. But that's something that the dating coaches, Ron Willis, all these PUA guys, all these scam artists, they'll never admit that every man ain't built for this. Every man is not built for women. I wasn't built for pussy. And a lot of guys wasn't built for women. Some dudes wasn't made to attract nobody. They was just made to be alone and just all jacked up. You know, and see, a lot of people know this deep down, but everybody wasn't meant to be a winner. And everybody don't have the ability to be one. But see, you got a lot of men who got a lot of pride and ego, they'll never admit that. See, one thing about me as a man, the older you start to get, you know, like I'm pushing 40. I'm in my mid-30s. I know I'm finished. And it's a lot of dudes who are finished, you know. So when guys get on this camera and we talking about these issues, we not just pulling stuff out our behind. And we not writing checks that we can't cash. A lot of us are speaking from life experience. Everything I'm talking about, I'm speaking from life experience. Ever since I was a teenager, you know. This is life experience right here. You know, this is life experience. I notice you got more and more guys who coming out the woodwork talking about how women ain't attracted to them, talking about how women never desired them. It's a slew of presentations online with dudes talking about this. So that lets you know that it's a problem out here. It's a problem. some people are not being selected. But what I'm here to tell you guys is that, and this stuff comes from years of experience. A lot of these dudes, and this is something for people to know in general, a lot of guys that are making these presentations talking about how they never been wanted, people need to understand that a lot of these dudes, they've been in this since they were teenagers. A lot of these guys, that's one thing I noticed about a lot of these dudes. A lot of these dudes have been in these positions ever since they was teenagers. So if you've been in this position ever since you was a teenager, it's a wrap for you. And that's something that people need to understand. A lot of these dudes who are not chosen by women, these guys were never chosen. A lot of these guys, when they was in middle school, when they was in high school, they was not wanted by nobody. No one found them attractive. Nobody liked them, you know? And a lot of people don't want to swallow their pride and admit this. Some people not wanted by nobody. Some people just not wanted by nobody. I know that's hard. See, that's hard for men who always had women throwing themselves at them to understand. But there are certain people who not wanted by nobody. Nobody like them. No one think they attractive. Nobody think they sexy. You know, there are some men like that. When you see men who are 30-some years old, 40-some years old, no wife, no kids, people know what that means. That means that nobody like them. Everybody think they ugly. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, and people know the truth deep down, whether they want to admit it or not. People know that there are certain men, they were just destined to lose. I guarantee no dating coach would ever admit that certain guys were destined to lose, because I always knew I was destined to lose ever since I was a teenager. I always knew it from the beginning, way before I started making content. That wind is whipping today. But you guys leave your comments, and I'm pretty sure a lot of guys that's watching this presentation right now knew they were destined to lose ever since they was an adolescent as well. But it is what it is. I'm speaking from experience. That's what people need to know. When we get on this camera and we talk about how we've been treated out here, and we talk about our adversities, we speaking from experience. We letting you know we've been in this since we were teenagers. Everybody wasn't cut out to be a winner. And every man wasn't cut out to get pussy. But you guys leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Salute to a life of hell.